What music thing?
I have no idea what he's talking about. Yeah. Sorry. We love your music thing.
Yeah, you do a great music thing, David.
The intros, every time I feel the jam.
Yeah. Yeah.
I never skip it.
Yeah, and the tape cassette thing, the sound, yeah, he nailed it with that.
I know.
He did a good job.
It's very soothing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I tried.
Yeah. It's the first time ever.
It shows your effort shows.
Notes from the test kitchen.
You know what I got a lot of emails. I probably had it up for a year before I actually heard it.
I watch
There
on
you
YouTube.
Yeah, he's a YouTuber.
Yeah.
Right.
Justin Allen. Good morning.
Gentlemen, good morning to you.
How are you?
Man, I'm so good.
So we're at Tools.
Yeah.
Are you training here?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Saturday morning, an introduction to alignment confidence.
Nice.
That's what we call it. How much can you do in 4 hours, right? You can't do a whole lot in 4 hours in terms of alignment.
Yeah.
So how can we hit some highlights? Some things that
what?
we're going to demystify.
You think 4 hours is not enough for alignments?
No way.
No, we teach a 3-day level 1 class, man. 3 days, 8 hours a day.
Am I overcomplicating alignments? Or undercomplicating
You
them?
are undercomplicating
Probably.
alignments.
Am I really?
Yeah, people are missing a lot of the marks.
Yeah, so he comes into the shop and he does an alignment class, and Deckert's in it, and Terry's in it, and Terry's pretty
Pretty well versed.
Yeah, and Terry walked away and he said, "Holy cow! Like I there's things he taught me that I had forgotten about that like would have made my alignments 20 minutes shorter and much
Really?
better." And
Oh, yeah.
just like little nuances of how you do it and like the process for which you go through it to become efficient at it.
Things in the software, why this really, mechanically, why is that happening to me right now? Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff. I love it.
That's pretty cool. So I thought that we would start off by talking about Justin Allen.
That guy.
Yeah, that guy. And we've been close friends for a while now. You've probably been one of the most supportive people in my life from the time that we met. You walked into my shop, not to sell me something, but you walked in and we just started talking. We've been friends ever since, right?
Yeah.
And you're very, very supportive of the people in our industry. But I know some of the backstory. And I think it would be important for you to, because you just brought it up before we started recording, and you talked about the fact that a lot of people don't believe this is the real Justin. This is the real Justin. Let me tell you.
This is as good as it gets.
100%. This is the real Justin. But I would like for you to tell a little bit of your story, because one of the things that we've talked about a lot on the show lately is there's a lot of people who are going through things and they're going through struggles. They may feel alone. They may feel like it's just them out here and nobody else is going through
Oh my
things.
gosh. Yeah.
Can you give us the backstory of how we got here?
Sure. And that is the worst thing, is that humans feel like they're alone on this journey.
Yeah.
And it's so normal, unfortunately, right? We all have highs and lows. So, okay, I'll try to give the abbreviated version of the story. The basis for who I am and how I am starts with moving around a lot as a kid.
Just the hair. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
You're good, Justin.
Go ahead.
Moving around a lot as a kid. And so about every 3 or 4 years, we would relocate. Now, what that does to a kid who is 7 and then 12 and then 15 or whatever is you are always the last one picked. You are the one who doesn't have anybody to sit with at the lunch table at first, and it created a need to connect, a desire to connect with humans, a fear of being left out. I think you're freaking me out. Actually, I'm thinking thoughts I haven't had in a long time. But yeah, that sense of being the guy that you're just invisible. You just don't really matter. And so that's kind of the foundational truth of what happened for me. I moved to Maryland when I was 15, and fortunately, the dynamic shifted in a certain way that allowed me to meet my now wife and things, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But so that's the foundation. Secondly, I married very young. Okay. Married at 21, married a 20-year-old. And we were just young and dumb and broke, like most folks are at stages in life. And we made some questionable choices and rushed into some things, et cetera, but had 3 amazing kids, right? And it's always tricky with this stuff. It was logical that this relationship didn't go well. Yeah. It's very logical. it was very hard on me as a pleaser
Yeah.
to be in a situation where I just couldn't please that person
Yeah.
for reasons that are, again, logical. It's fine. We didn't know each other. I get it. Not everybody's going to like you. But I went through 13 really challenging years.
I've been back and I've looked at pictures from that time frame because occasionally there's some that you post and I'm like, I bet you I know when that was.
Yeah.
Right. Like
Yeah.
you could see it.
Yeah.
Right. Like you could see that it had taken a toll for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. That's tough stuff. And I've got a real heart for people that are struggling because of those things.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I'm right. We're all wrong in our own ways, but I was trying to please somebody who couldn't be pleased. Somebody wants an orange bus and you show up in a red pickup truck and you're just it's not going to work.
Right.
It's not what they wanted.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I've been in some work situations historically, I guess, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, break it out and talk about it. It's tough. I know it's tough. So.
I'm a person, my personality type needs feedback.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't think I'm doing a good job. I know I'm doing a good job.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, something about that moving around, middle kid, all those dynamics, just give me some feedback. I don't need feedback to know I'm doing good. I want to do better.
Yeah.
I always want to do better.
Give me the blend.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Yeah. I can't do any better if I'm not getting anything out of you to gauge that off of. Right. So I've had some work situations that were challenging over the years. And right now, I find myself extraordinarily supported.
Okay.
From both a spousal position and a work position. Hunter Corporate is so kind to me and so supportive of the things that I'm doing online to love and support our industry any way that I can. The creative outlet that it provides for me is a riot.
Right.
For me.
Well, so you were in a creative thing in school, right? Like you were doing the creative thing.
Okay. See, I was always wondering where you were going with my history. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm blown away.
All of my shady past.
Right. Every time I talk to you, I'm blown away by the fact that like, here we are, you were in this creative kind of drama role in school. Mm-hmm. How did you end up at Hunter from that? Like, what was the pathway you took to end up here?
I know.
I mean, because it's like it's like a zigzag, right? Like it's all over the place to get here.
I know. So what Lucas is alluding to there is, I'm the arts kid. Music and theater and chorus and all that stuff was my path. I was a drum major in marching band, ultimately, all of that stuff. And that I was joking with a friend yesterday. We met in the town that I went to high school, and we went out and got some lunch, and we were the island of misfit toys. Like that group is the island of misfit toys. All these kids that don't really know where they fit in, but we create this very safe environment where all that creativity can flourish and whatnot. And then how did I get there? Well, the Hunter story, I guess, would just be that I knew that I loved people and I knew that I loved cars.
Yeah.
So what on earth do you do with that? I literally remember like, well, crap, I don't have a college degree and I got to make money doing something. So maybe I'll sell cars.
Yeah.
I like people. I like cars. That wasn't a lot of fun for me. I didn't like that part. I didn't like the selling cars. No. But it did open that door. So I sold parts and I wrote service and I managed the quick lane and handled inventory control. I did a bunch of different kind of things like that at the dealership for 9 years. And then 2008 happens and other struggles, right? The economy tanks. Our department at the dealership, the quick lane maintenance department shut down.
Really?
After several months in a row of laying off a group of people, it finally came that time. They're like, forget it. We can't, the maintenance side's not working out. We got to shut that down.
Yeah.
And so they let us all go. And so I was living on a Christian commune farm in the woods. Yeah.
He's a very Asheville guy.
Right. I drove a tractor bush hogging the farm for a week, just tending to the chickens, all that kind of stuff. Because I knew that I had a chance to change. Like, crap, now what?
Yeah.
I've got some time invested in this career path, and it just crashed and burned on me. Well, screw automotive. I'll go do something totally different.
Yeah.
Was a thought I had.
And you thought Christian Commune in the woods?
I had already been living there for a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it was so peaceful. It's so beautiful. But yeah, we'd been living there for a little bit. Fortunately, we'd sold our house and paid off all of our debt and moved out to this Christian commune
Yeah.
and raised chickens. But anyway, yeah, I spent a week farming the land and a lot in my head. And then I got a phone call about Hunter looking for a sales guy at a time where like nobody was hiring anybody. You know, that was a weird moment.
Yeah, for sure.
Couldn't, yeah. So go to Hunter. Back then it was a 7-week process to see whether or not you even had the opportunity.
Right.
7 weeks of training in St. Louis. So I'm away from my wife and 3 kids. I'm broke, continued to be broke at that point. And hallelujah, here we are.
Amen. So
Right? 17 years later.
you moved into that sales role and you excelled in a way that, like, I know it took time to excel,
Sure.
but like, bro, everybody in the whole community, automotive community in Western North Carolina, like knows you, talks about you. You're their guy, right?
The
Did you
first
sell that
thing is
many
the love.
alignment machines?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah, I did.
I can't. I got to be careful what I say because there's other people within that organization that listen to the show who might be salespeople in the same area, and like, I don't think anybody sold it. Like, after Justin came in, there's 100 pieces of equipment in every single shop around because Justin, they were buying Justin, they weren't buying Hunter alignment equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that.
I think that's step one is the human connection, right? And I always sound like a record saying it. I love people and I can see you're struggling and what can we do to help?
Yeah.
You know, this is pretty chaotic. What's going on? How can I bring anything good to the table? Right? That's kind of how I would walk in the door.
Yeah.
And yeah, we sold a bunch of equipment.
For sure. And so then, like, over the past couple of years, that's expanded. You've moved into the training division. And I know for a period of time you went through some struggles within, like, hey, am I hitting the mark? Am I succeeding?
Right.
What does success look like?
Right.
Because it wasn't clearly defined.
Yeah.
And I saw that impact you, right?
Yeah. It was that lack of feedback thing. Now, there's, different humans react different ways, right? And I was in a situation where I was seeking a certain kind of feedback that I didn't feel like I was getting. I was getting a lot of numerical feedback, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But I needed like personal performance feedback about like I don't know.
Well, so it's interesting because after all that happened is when I went to the leadership intensive training that the Institute does.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking back throughout that training about your situation because that's one of the things that they outline is like, hey, all human beings don't respond the same way to the same feedback.
Right.
And so as a leader, you have to be able to diversify your feedback. You have to be able to put your feedback where they need it.
Yeah.
And then you have to be putting targets and goals in front of them because you are a high performing salesperson, right? Probably one of the top in the company. I don't care what they say. Like, I'm just telling you, I know what it looked like.
There's different metrics we can measure by. So I would say I loved a lot of people. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. David did too. It was a completely different thing. All dudes. So you're disgusting. You disgust me, David.
It's 2025. It's not disgusting anymore. It's just,
So long story short, I was listening in that class and I was thinking back about the fact that now that I see that leader probably thought that they were giving you the feedback that they needed, right? The personality and everything else points to that's how they received feedback. So they gave feedback based on how they were.
Right.
Right.
We all operate on what our normal is.
Yeah, exactly. And then on top of that, because you were such a high performer, right? Like there's a point where, okay, my sales are great. I'm one of the best salespeople out there. Now what? Like what's the next step? I don't want to be stuck.
Right.
And so they were talking about that in that class is like, hey, you have to keep the goals moving. And they said a lot of people get really upset about that because before you even hit that next goal, you move the goal up further. And they're like, why are you doing that? To keep the momentum.
Right.
To keep that like thing
that
you're
sounds
digging
exhausting.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you that's
a challenging kind. It's a different way. Yeah.
Well, but I think you'd have to go to the class to
I'm
hear
sure.
how he
I want to go
that
hear
out.
Michael. Michael, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely.
I want to go
Michael's-
hear all that.
Yeah. Well, he's going to be at my shop.
I know.
17th, 18th.
I know.
Something like that.
Yeah. I'm excited about that.
I'm just telling you that's a corporatized view of dealing with people because you don't want to remain stagnant. You're 100% right. And some people just don't care to give feedback. It's not that they can't, or they're like, well, me, for example, don't give me feedback. I don't care. I don't care about your feedback. I am my own worst self-critic.
Right.
I can analyze every little thing that I do and look for the deficiencies. And I know I can perform better if I do X, Y, Z. I'm going to execute on that. Whatever feedback you think you're giving to me, trust me, I've already been down this road.
Yeah.
And you are not in my head all the time, so you really don't know.
Thank God.
You can just see externally what's happening. You don't see the internal.
Right.
So
right.
I don't need feedback. So somebody tries to give me feedback, I just get annoyed.
Yeah.
So the complete opposite. Now, because I'm that way, I don't necessarily like giving feedback. I like analyzing situations, but not necessarily giving you feedback. I like looking at the situation and going, okay, how can we make this better? How can we execute on this? What is the trajectory we need to head down? In that, I want your input and we can kind of game plan together,
Right.
but that isn't necessarily direct feedback. And here's how you could perform better for the company.
Yeah.
And that, somebody that needs feedback, not a personality mesh with me. Like, you can't work for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it. I
Yeah.
just I can't force myself. Anything I try to give you would not come off as genuine.
Right.
It would come off as condescending. Or
Sure.
But that's some of what Michael talks about in that class, is because you could alienate somebody accidentally and not even realize that you've done it.
Yeah.
And they can go
Well, you have to be able to recognize, like, this person working for me. If you worked in my department, I'm like,
Right.
I would say you got to move Justin. He can't. Like, he is not going to flourish under me. You got to be able to recognize that you're not pushing that person to the best
For
of their
sure,
ability.
but
they
think
need to
about-
work for somebody else.
Yeah.
Think about how many people are 20 years later in their life who had a manager like you when it wasn't a good fit and they didn't recognize that. And they now look back and they're like, dude, that
You
dude
as a
was
good
such an
manager,
ass.
though, if you're wanting to be a good manager, like I said, you overanalyze everything. You should be looking at it going, this person is not a good fit for me.
Yeah.
I need to move them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you want the best for people, for the most part. Some people are just dirtbags. You don't care. But
Sure.
if they're not a dirtbag, you want the best for them. You want to move them.
Right. Do you think, as independent shop owners, because I was thinking about this with listening to you guys a couple of days ago, do you think you therefore draw in technicians and teammates that respond best to your personality type? Like, is that what happens kind of accidentally or on purpose through interviewing or whatever? Like, so that you build a team of people that respond to your leadership type?
Here's what I've found is that when bringing someone in, David is much better at this than I am. But what I have found personally is that I tend to attract people pleasers, and they don't say, like, it's not that they don't tell the truth. It's they don't get into the nitty gritty of it because they don't want to kill their chance, or they don't want to, right? So they say the thing that they think you want to hear.
Right.
It's not like subverse to try and get the job, right? It's that's who they are. And I have found that you can hire 100 people and 99 of them are not necessarily who you think they are. And that once they start and they get their feet wet and they begin to let the guard down, you'll see who they really are. And I don't know that there's a way around that.
Right.
David does a very good job of analyzing people and getting a grasp on who they are and what they are. And
For the most part.
yeah.
Somebody falls through the cracks every now and then, right?
Yeah. I've had some misses, right? And you know, I think as somebody who wants to help people, I'm bad to keep pushing to help when I probably should be saying, yo, this isn't working.
Right.
Right? And so I'm guilty of that. What do you think?
Yeah, you hire people pleasers, and for some reason, dealership people.
I'd hire Justin.
Not you, Justin, but dealership people are sometimes the worst.
Yeah. No, I get it. All people are sometimes the worst.
Yeah. For sure.
As a general rule, though, the people that thrive in dealerships cannot hack it in an independent repair shop, especially a shop like his.
Yeah.
It's not a culture fit. Your personality type and your work ethic and the type of what you will allow yourself to do at a dealership, not you, Justin, but what you allow yourself to do at a dealership, if you thrive in that setting,
Right.
and then you move into an independent repair shop, you will absolutely crumble.
Yeah.
In a shop like his. Now, you move into
A transactional,
a
Mike Allen
transactional, like, yeah, you move into a shop like Mike Allen's,
I heard that.
ESO.
Yeah.
you'll be fine. But
Right.
you got to be really careful because you're right. I mean, I've got a technician that he says he wants feedback. He says he wants feedback, but he doesn't want feedback. And he tells me all the time. He's like, I need to keep pushing myself. I was like, okay, but he does fine. He does.
Yeah.
He doesn't need me critiquing him. You know, like we do go back and analyze and situations and what could we have done differently. And he gives me constant feedback. Like, we should be fixing this. Now, like I said, I don't like to get feedback because it's like, thanks for pointing out the obvious. Like, we know. Like,
Yeah.
you're just telling me something we've already discussed. We already know. Like, yeah, obviously that went wrong. But he tells me he wants feedback. He doesn't really want.
Well, and
It's a personality fit. Like, I'm very laid back. I crack constant jokes. I tease a lot. I don't take anything seriously, which isn't the best fit for some people. Some people come work and they're like, this is a professional setting. We need to be professional. We can't be saying these like off-color jokes to each other. Like, we can't be doing this kind of nonsense at work. I couldn't work in a place like that. I'd hate it there.
Right.
So somebody comes in, and if they're not a good personality fit, that's the first thing I look for is, are they going to be a good personality fit? Because I've tried to have people work for me that weren't a personality fit. It does not work.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
go ahead.
I think a couple things. One is that part of however we get formulated in this comes from like your parents or your favorite teacher or that first real job, right?
sure.
And so my first real job was at the dealership, and the quest for feedback in that environment kept leading to those advancement opportunities.
Yeah.
What can I do better? How can I better serve the organization? Is what I mean by feedback, right?
Sure.
Like, how can I take better care of this, or what do you want to see done differently? And that pursuit of I hate to use the word excellence because I don't think of excellence, but the pursuit of doing better.
Yeah.
It led to those things. So for that to be 9 years of having that kind of absolutely, you're great. Can we get you to be a service writer? Would you do that? How about manage this over here? That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
And doing that, it programmed me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And whether that also came from my third grade teacher, my parents at some point, who knows? But it programmed me to think that's what a job does. And so then to land in a situation where you got like zero response to anything felt very, very weird.
Yeah.
You know?
I can understand that. And I fell into a very similar situation where, I'm pushing. I'm like, hey, what can I do better? What can I do better?
Yeah.
That was me in my early 20s. By the time I moved into a higher role and I'm not getting constant feedback, or I'm getting feedback I don't care to hear. And it wasn't because it was critical. It was just like, okay, you're telling me the obvious. Like, thanks. You're not helping here.
Right.
Is my point. You come up with your own metrics. That's what I did. I'm like, I know what the company's looking for.
Yeah.
And I know these buttons and I can turn these dials. And I just pushed myself because I knew at the end of the day, this is what the company wants. The problem is, like, and this was when I was in St. Louis. I moved to Kansas City, and the management team didn't want any of those things that I had excelled at in St. Louis.
Yeah.
I move into Kansas City, and they want something completely different. They want a don't rock the boat person, and that is not me.
Right.
I didn't last very long, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and that brings up a valid point: is the quality of the feedback. And does the person have the perspective to give the feedback, right? Because one
you find that you think very little of most people. They're like, I know this sounds douchey, but like, they're not always that smart. And like,
screwed up where I was
perfect
taking this.
example. A perfect example is a Rick White. Okay, now I can listen to a Rick White give me feedback because Rick White is constantly learning. Like, he's always reading some new book, and he's spouting the phrases, and you recognize him because it's like, I read that in that book.
Yeah.
Oh, he read that book too. And he's read 50 other books that I haven't touched.
Sure. And
he's gleaned something out of it, and he's, then he mushes it all together and he gives it to you in some kind of Rickism. So you can respect his opinion on something because he's got a wide range perspective. He's gathered information from 1,000 different sources and put it together with his experience and his knowledge, and he's disseminating it out. If I don't know that's the situation with that person, I don't care to hear what they have to say.
Yeah.
Especially if they prove that, like, dude, what you're telling me is is dumb or very low level.
Yeah.
Like it's lacks perspective. You're not.
That's my point entirely. Is when we brought the manager on in the shop, everybody went and gave him feedback, but part of those people did not have a clue. Like it was, this isn't working for me, so I'm going to start spouting all of the things that I think it could be. And it led him down these pathways to try and do or change things that were completely irrelevant, right? And I should have been more there to stop that from happening. But, it's you have to be careful who you're getting feedback from.
Sure.
You can't just take any feedback. So I think that's a really valid point. Make sure the person you're listening to
It's hard,
actually
though,
has.
to kind of decipher. You don't want to hear everything, but I mean, my point is that you can, especially if you're overly analytical, you can hear the feedback and go, that's not good feedback.
Well, I mean, it's not even that it's good or bad. It's that it lacks the perspective you need.
So it wasn't that you wanted feedback. You just wanted to progress.
Yeah.
You just needed a path.
Yeah.
Give me the path. Where's the path?
Sure.
Send me down the path.
Right. How can this has been fun and I'd like to do something else. How do I get there?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I like that, looking at it in terms of the path. Sure.
So let me ask you this, because there's been a really interesting trajectory after the move. Like you got into training.
Yeah.
Turns out that you excel at training. I think I saw a little bit of anxiety or nerves there at first. Like, am I going
Sure.
to be able to do this?
Oh, yeah.
And then you turned out to be the best trainer that Hunter's got, right? Like in a big way. Everybody says that.
I'm one of 13 great trainers.
I understand, but I'm just saying you're the guy who gets sent to the big events. You're the guy who gets sent to
I'm the one who's loud on screen.
Yes, that guy. But the trajectory has also shifted a little bit in the personal arena.
Yeah.
Because I've seen you out doing these training events, going to these shops, helping these shops, building connections with people.
Yeah.
And it goes beyond Hunter at this point. Is
Sure.
Is that a clue to the future of Justin? Is that the progression on the personal side that's feeding that machine inside? So I've got the career success, but now I'm pushing this other kind of rewarding success, this thing that gives me what I'm looking for inside. Do you think that's what that is?
Yeah, I think that could be. I like the way you're putting that together. The freedom and flexibility that I have in terms of building my own schedule creates chaos. Like we commented on Facebook a couple days ago, like given too much can get kind of tricky. And when you're building your own schedule, you can overcommit, obviously. But it has this desire that I have to help those of us who are already, thank goodness we're in the industry. Thank goodness there's some of us still, here.
Yeah.
Anything we can do to encourage and uplift people that are willing to fight for this stuff is what I'm going to do. And so the flexibility of scheduling with Hunter, as well as their blessing, I'd say, has put me in that position to do those. Is it the future? It's a coexistence. It's a coexistence. I'm fortunate to be able to work for Hunter and have these little projects on the side. When we did back in March, we went to a shop for one day, 8 hours. I came in, I brought Chad Whitley from the Institute as a business coach, brought in Craig Copeland, who's a diagnostic trainer.
Yeah.
And we had the best time. We had a riot. I did alignment training. Chad spoke with the owner. Craig worked with the technicians. Then we swapped technicians on the alignment machine. So I did kind of half day with technicians on that. People don't come to training because they don't know how much it could benefit them.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean this across the board. The coaching, the diagnostician, alignment, or whatever your area of expertise is, your specialty, they don't understand how much more efficient we can make them. And I'm trying to expose it.
I've had the blessing of going into shops with you and talking and networking with people, and you're very de-arming, right? And we've heard some shop owners say some things, or some people in some shops say some things that are kind of heartbreaking to hear, like their perspective.
Yeah.
But to me, it feels like it's an ego thing for some people.
Sure.
It feels like they think they already know.
Oh, yeah.
And I've watched you, and I don't think I could navigate as gracefully as you do, because when you walk into a shop and they're like, I don't need that, oh, this and that, you navigate around it in such a way that it de-arms them, or if it doesn't like kill your joy for the rest of the day.
Right.
And I don't know how you do that. Right?
Yeah.
Like, it bothers me. It's like, dude, this is so stupid. Why are you doing this? Like, this is ridiculous. You don't know what you don't know, and you're not willing to recognize it.
Yeah.
I go out and I'm mad the rest of the day. And everybody else can pick up on it. If I went to another shop, they'd be like, this dude's an asshole.
Yeah.
But like, you're just like, going to the next shop.
There's so many people that need help that I'm not going to let that one person who doesn't want to receive it bring me down. There's no way, dude. There's no way. You could be as frustrated as you want. If you don't want to receive any of the positivity that I'm bringing to the table, talk about things you learn in a bad marriage. If you don't want to receive any of my intentionality, my kindness, my love or whatever, if you don't want it, that's cool.
Yeah.
I will go to the next shop.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah.
Tell me what it was that you think what changed in that shop in Georgia? What shifted? Because I know a lot changed, and they've become active, and and not saying they weren't active before, but they've become way more active, way more engaged, way more involved.
Right.
What do you think changed for them?
They just saw outside the borders of their frame.
Yeah.
Right? We're all facing the world on our own. Like, you think about, like, I'm staring at my phone. Like, that's all we see is my life on that glowing screen. I see that, and I am way too busy for all this other stuff out here. It could be amazing, but I don't have time to worry about it.
Yeah.
He slowed down for 8 hours, and he peered outside that frame. He looked at the other stuff.
Yeah.
And, I'm telling you, I talked to Chad 1 hour in, and Chad was so excited.
Yeah.
Because my fear, this guy's been in business for 29 years. My fear was that we show up and he's like, yeah, I know all that stuff. Never mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
For
Thanks.
Sure. Now what?
He doesn't seem like that kind of person, though.
No, but I didn't know. I didn't know this shop owner.
Oh.
It was totally phone call. Let's go. Yeah. And no, he
but
was.
You got to think that the
awesome.
person that's calling and saying, hey, we want you to come in and do a training class is probably like,
How did this play out? How did this all come together? Because we'd been talking about this for a while.
I know. It's been on the agenda. I put it out on Facebook and I said, hey, I'm looking for shop owners that would be open to the idea of me bringing in and doing some training on, for a day in your shop. And I'm looking for smaller shops, 2 to 5 bays or whatever. And I got about 10 responses from around the country. So I had to, plan A is let's be geographically reasonable for the first attempt at this, right? Because I want to do it all over the country. And he called me, messaged on Facebook, and we talked. And he sounded like the perfect candidate, except he has like 9 bays.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, this guy's too far down the tracks. Like, this isn't going to help anybody. But so then we coordinated a team. We picked a day, and we showed up. And his shop's gorgeous too. All of his marketing's on point. His color things all match, right? Like, it was all. And then I was more like, ugh.
Yeah.
This is never going to be what I want it to be, because I wanted theoretically to see people that were panicked and struggling. Like, how can we help you today turn this thing around? And so I really didn't think it would really phase them much.
Yeah.
And the dinner at the end of the day, of course, we went out for chicken wings. Darn right we did.
Yeah, that's just a Justin
It's
Allen
just what
thing.
you're going to do. And he just couldn't stop talking about how positive that experience was and how much he was exposed to all kinds of things. And him and his front counter guy was there with us too. It was hilarious, man. Imagine if you could have somebody show up at your house to do an intensive 8-hour marriage coaching.
That's not down my.
I know, but right now, like, we're all like, yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I'm okay. But someone shows up for 8 hours and lays out things in front of you and your wife. And by the end of the day, you'd be like, wow, I've really been kind of a butthole. Mm-hmm. We can fix some of this stuff,
Yeah.
It was kind of like that. Like, you just don't know. We say it all the time. You don't know what you don't know. And he knew some stuff all of a sudden that day. It was awesome. He was so cool.
Right. And see that awakening in someone, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I like. And I think some of the people that I talk to feel like I give them this bit of information. I still talk to them, but like, I give them the little bit of information or knowledge that I have. Mm-hmm. And I encourage them to go find somebody else, because I'm like, hey, this is like I can only help you so much. But what I'm interested in doing is creating this hunger for knowledge, this realization out of unconscious incompetence and into conscious incompetence, right?
Yeah.
And kind of that step to the next level and start getting things moving. That's what
Right.
I like creating.
Yeah.
You know, and so I see a lot of shops, and one of the most memorable that I think I have with me and you is the one shop in Asheville, the husband and the wife we went into.
Yeah.
And we
so
asked,
depressing.
yeah, we asked them to come, and they're like, no, we're not coming out. Okay, why? We just want to be done with this thing. We just want to sell this thing. It's stressful, and you could tell they were aggravated. You could tell they
Well,
were
I'm too
mad
busy.
that-
I can't get out of here and go
Yeah.
do that.
And the problem was you could see just in the interaction that he was sharing with us about the client that day, and it resonates up here. Like I hear it over and over again. He was talking about a client. He was talking about an issue he had with a client. And I'm thinking, man, like you've built this system that did that. Like you've created this issue.
Yeah.
And all you can look at is the client and say the client's the problem, and it's all these clients, and they're all stupid, and the cars are stupid, and it's always a problem.
Yeah.
The cars are stupid.
Well, I mean, I guess that's why it resonated because I deal with this jackass all day. But I mean, that's my point is that they were completely unwilling to open their eyes
Yeah.
to see that the mess they were in,
Right.
they created.
Right. And the thing in that one the thing that disappointed me the most about that particular situation was we were like, okay, well, here's my card and here's a flyer about ASTE or whatever, right? Or, you know,
We were doing the Asheville,
the event up
Asheville
there.
social,
Right,
yeah.
right. And are you on how can we share information with you?
Yeah.
What's kind of the thing that blew my mind? Like, well, no, we're not on, which by the way, you don't have to be on Facebook. I don't care, but
Yeah.
no, they're not on Facebook. And well, could I email you stuff? And they had to look for an email address
Yeah,
to give
I remember
us, which
Yeah.
was going to be some bogus. They're never checking that email.
Yeah.
Whatever. They were so closed off to the possibility of even a glimmer of hope of what if there could be some different information out there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
And that's
for
the part
sure.
that really disappointed me is that they weren't even they're not open in any way. They didn't want anything.
Right.
They were so, but that's out of fear. They
Yeah.
were so freaked out and scared and desperate to try to survive another day. They couldn't even imagine anything different.
Absolutely. And how many people do we see that are in that exact
That's
boat
what I'm saying
right now?
all the time.
Right. And
Yeah.
but like it seems asinine to me that you wouldn't go out and try and fix it. You wouldn't go out and look for solutions.
Yeah.
Now I remember like I remember the moment that came to a head for me. Right. Now it took like this perfect series of events falling into place that I was like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
Right. Because I had given up. I was ready to be done. But if it wasn't for like Paul Danner creating the hunger for knowledge, if it wasn't for now, okay, I'm going to go continue to look for this knowledge, didn't think anything about management or shop
Right.
ownership training.
Yeah.
Right. And I thought that I knew how to run a business. Like I really did. And I'm going to tell you right now, the further I go into this industry, the more training I go to, the more I learn from folks like Cecil and Rick and you and others, I realize there's a whole lot more that I don't know.
Sure.
Like every day I get dumber, right? Like not quite as dumb as David yet, but no, you're probably the smartest person I know. But I recognize that if it had not been for that perfect scenario, I never would have learned any of this.
Yeah.
I never would have like come out of my shell and said, hey,
Yep.
how do I turn this into something?
Yeah.
But every single day we talk to shop owners who are unwilling to do that. And I talked to one maybe a month ago, and it's like, hey, this, and this is a problem.
Right.
Nope, I know what I'm doing. I have this, I have that. Very arrogant response.
Yeah.
3 days later comes back and says, hey, I went and looked at those numbers and I think you may be right. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Nice.
And you watch that wall break down is probably one of the most satisfying things.
Yeah.
But do we have enough shop owners going to help other shop owners? Do we have enough technicians reaching out and trying to help enough other technicians?
Right.
And they're all afraid of being rejected. And I've watched you do this over and over again, and the rejection never gets to you. It drives me crazy. Like
Why would the rejection get to you? Like,
you hate people. I want people to be happy. I want people to like me.
He's an entertainer.
there's the problem right there.
Yeah. He's an entertainer.
You got to have them like you. I don't care. I'm trying to help you. Oh, you don't want my help? All right.
Yeah.
Deuces. I'll go move on to somebody else.
Well, and that's where I'm I'm that balance in between that too. Because I really, if I get the indication that you don't think I'm worth your time and energy, then I'm out. That's cool. Like, best of luck.
Yeah.
But I do hope that they'll, because I know I bring good to the table, so I hope they'll be responsive. I do want to say this about you, thinking about that first ASTE experience you had. I think about that a lot, and how, you were drawn in. They said, wait a second, you need to come do this management class or whatever.
Yeah.
One thing I think we do really well as a community overall at these events is to make sure people feel welcome, right?
Yeah.
But I want to take a moment just to encourage the people that might show up at an event this year that maybe they've never exercised that skill to reach out to a stranger. We talk about, these are all about networking. Yeah. I love coming to these and being around the pool last night and looking for people that don't have anybody to talk to.
Yeah.
And going and introducing myself to those people.
Right.
Right. I want to encourage the other shop, because there's people that aren't as loud and obnoxious as we are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I want to encourage the ones that are a little bit quieter too. Like, take that step, because you may absolutely change somebody's life at one of these events. For sure. You could have gone to ASTE and nobody really talked to you.
Yeah,
you went to a technician class about turning wrenches. Maybe you learned something, but you were it just didn't go well.
Continued on a completely different path.
Right. So we know that people come back, and we do a pretty good job of it. But there's still some people here that maybe they've been to it one time before, but they just haven't exercised that, hey, let me go encourage somebody else.
Right.
Look for that quiet person sitting over in the corner. And I know this might be tricky, because some people are like, no, do not talk to me. That's why I'm sitting in the corner. But you never know. You might be the person that they can relate to, that opens their eyes to something totally different and really changes their whole trajectory. Because yours did. You went from I'm done, get me out of here, I want to work for somebody else, to now being a role model, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. I'm a perfect role model for what not to do. I got that down pat.
In some form, an encourager anyway.
So I think that speaks beautifully to the point that the most valuable thing that you get out of going to these training events has nothing to do with sitting in a training class. It's about the networking. It's about talking to other people who are in your shoes.
Realizing you're not alone. That's it. Not feeling less like you are fighting this battle by yourself.
Yeah. And I mean, there's a ton of people who have been down this exact trajectory, and people ask why I connect to that to such a degree, and why do I always talk about it? Well, because I thought it was just me. And now I see every single day, I get 25 Facebook messages a day most days from somebody who's in this spot who doesn't understand and doesn't know what to do, and the shop's failing. And
he answers all of them. Every single one of them. Spends hours just sitting there typing and typing and typing away.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Because I like helping people.
You
hate people.
No. It's because you got to please. I want them to like me. Type.
Well, and I talk to the quiet people at the parties because I was the kid that was last picked all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I know what that feeling is to not be, nobody cares if you're here or not.
I am the quiet kid that doesn't want to be bothered.
I know.
Don't come talk to me.
I know. That's a quick fist bump and walk away.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I've had a completely different experience networking.
Well, that's because you got dog poop on your shoe, bro.
That was in high school. I've had a completely different experience. I sign up with a coaching group.
Yeah.
I show up to the classes. No networking. Like, I am not a quiet person, right? I'm not going to go out there, but I did attempt. I did try to reach out, and I was just asking questions.
Right.
And what I found was the very successful ones did not want to give me any secret sauce. I was looking for a secret sauce. I'm like, I'm doing something wrong here.
Yeah.
Right. I did come to the realization that I'm doing this all wrong. It wasn't just me buying uniforms that was going to transform my business. I'm doing things wrong.
Yeah.
And so I went looking for answers. I was desperate for answers, started asking everybody. And they were like dismissive, short with their answers. They didn't want to give up what it is. And I think some of it was just they didn't know. They couldn't tell me. Like, what made you successful? Like, how'd you get it to turn around? Like, you struggled, and then what? I don't think they knew.
Yeah.
I think they just got lucky.
Yeah.
A lot of them. I really did.
Yeah.
I really do. And then the other people that I've met, I ended up changing coaching companies, went to a different coaching company, went out to the networking thing. I met Adam, by the way, and he said he met me. I don't remember him at all. Adam Rath. He's like, you don't remember me? We had a whole conversation. I'm like, dude, I have no idea.
Right.
My wife remembers him. She's like, you don't remember Adam meeting him at the... I'm like, I have no idea. Like, not even a little bit. Anyway, blocked all that out.
Right.
Traumatizing for me. I'm saying, like, I talked to these people and, like, short answers, dismissive, couldn't tell me, like, they could give two craps about wanting to help. You guys are unique in that you're in the South. I think that's what it is. Had I just gone to, like, a North
Southeast
Carolina, like
conference of sorts.
Southern area conference, I think it would have been better.
Probably.
Because I went to Vision. Same thing. Like, I'm sorry. They just, these people, like, they could not give two craps helping a struggling shop owner. I remember sitting next to a shop owner. It was in Bob's class. It was like, and Bob was doing this class, and he was just blowing me away because I'm a metrics guy. Like, I like numbers, right? And he's like spitting number, and I'm like, wow, this is awesome. I'm writing it all down, and I'm sitting next to this guy. I think he was from Seattle, and he's in Kansas City at the Vision, and he wasn't paying attention at all. He was just playing on his phone, and he was looking up his numbers at his shop, and so I started just asking him questions. I'm like, well, what do you think about this? And how do you do this? And all he could do was show off his Kukui. He had Kukui. This was like 2017. Kukui was fairly new. He's like, I got a program called Kukui. Let me show it to you. And he just starts flipping through, and he's like, oh, you just do this and this. And look, $1.2 million a year. I couldn't fathom $20,000 a month. I was in the, like, if I could break $15,000 a month, I'd be happy.
Yeah.
And like he was like the douchiest guy. And I
He's
just
probably a
assumed.
listener now.
Trust me, he wasn't. He isn't. I just assumed that's how most shop owners were.
Wow. Yeah.
That's how, I had just met too many of them. Like from Vision to my first coaching company to the second coaching company, the trend was there. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and I've experienced that too. I get really frustrated in the groups because we have that where people just like absolutely rip one another apart. And somebody asks a question, they're not, and it's that keyboard effect, right? Like they're behind the keyboard, so they feel like they can say whatever they want.
Yeah.
I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
And like you got to push through that. I try to like keep that from happening in our groups, but it still happens, right? And the people who do that, if you reprimand them, they get so mad about it.
Yeah.
I don't mind that. You want to spot off on the internet, spot off on the internet. I'm talking like in person. In person, I don't understand these shop owners, these older shop owners that have seen success. I don't know how you don't want to like help your fellow shop owner. You see what I'm saying? Like, how do you not want to? How do you not see yourself like I was there? How do I? And I don't want you to go through what I went through.
Right.
The sleepless nights. I was telling you this the other day. Like, I'm going through pictures of spending time with my family.
Yeah,
on holidays.
Sure. Heartbreaking.
And I can see that picture, and I was completely out of it.
Yeah.
In that picture, I wasn't thinking about
not engaged.
My little kids and having fun and paddle boating on Memorial Day weekend. All I could worry about is I got this tax bill coming up, and I don't know how I'm going to pay it.
Yeah.
Or I got payroll coming up, and I don't have enough to cover my rent and payroll and parts, and I've got this car that will not get fixed, and that's all I could think about. I was just obsessed, and it was just I just need one more car. I just need to get past this, and it'll be better tomorrow. And that's the only thing that kept me going. That was it, and that's all I can think about. Looking through those pictures is I wasn't there, like engaging and just having fun and just detaching myself from the shop. It was just that worry and just eating away at me. I don't wish that on anybody.
Right.
That is miserable.
Yeah.
It is. And I was very much in that place. And it brings up a very interesting thought for me.
I'm just saying, like, I don't know how these shop owners are okay seeing that guy in the corner, and because you can see the face.
Yeah.
Like,
for sure.
It's weighing on. I can tell. It's on your shoulders. It's on your face. Like, I can tell.
Yeah.
How do you not go, I'm gonna go help that guy out?
Right.
Like,
Let's talk
I haven't
this
been
through,
at
brother.
my shop in 2 weeks. I just pull up the numbers. Shop's operating. Like, I'm not trying to make any money off of it. I don't have a coaching company that I'm trying to like sign you up for. Like, none of that.
Yeah.
I just want to, what can I help you with?
Yeah.
Like, what are you struggling with? Like, tell me about your shop. Like, how do you not want to walk up and help?
Some people are so swept up in the competition of it, you know?
It's a competition, really?
Yeah, I think they're so in that competition with the other people in their town or whatever, and they're just going to win and dominate that they're afraid to let anybody know how they're doing it. And frankly, they've clawed and scratched to get there too, and they've made a lot of dumb mistakes, and they're not doing it perfect, but they darn sure don't want to lose what they've got a hold of. And that's where it's weird in these, like in this environment or vision, like, dude, these guys are not in your market area in any way, shape, or form. Why would you not be comfortable talking to them about it?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I hate that you encountered that kind of a thing, right? I think it's because you look unapproachable.
Is that
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
They just didn't want to be nice to you because you look so cranky. I'm totally kidding you.
I'm not. I'm dead serious.
No, I get told that all the time. Trust me.
You know, I think it brings another thing that you've really helped me with and helped me develop to light. And that is watching you and Rachel develop your marriage and work on your marriage from the outside has been impressive to me. Right. And I'll never forget, because Rick White told me one time, he said, do you realize that her dream is not your dream? Right. And I've watched you guys navigate through that. Right. And I've watched you guys navigate and her be able to provide you perspective. And it's really interesting because I watch her keep you grounded.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, like, you're a dude who will loft off into the sky if
Absolutely.
somebody doesn't ground
I know.
you, right?
I know. Yeah.
And so I watch that and I think back about, you know, it took a long time and it took work for my wife and myself to get on the same page.
Yeah.
And to get to the point that, like, we could understand how to work together and how to navigate this together.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who don't have that.
True.
There's a lot of people who are trying to figure this out while she's over there yelling and screaming about the thing, or they're yelling and screaming. She's over there trying to figure out what to do to help.
Right.
Right. Like we're not building that. And so I think it's important that we build support systems behind the scenes.
Oh, man.
Right. Because like
Yeah.
the support can't just be the shop. You can't just go find a coach. You can't just go find a person.
Right.
If your significant other, if you have a significant other and they're not on board, at least to a degree, it may not be their dream.
Right.
But they at least have to understand it, right? And I've watched you guys from the outside, kind of like navigate some of that. And dude, I'm telling you, y'all's communication is like nothing I've ever seen before. I don't know, like as open and as transparent and as like non BS with each other as anything I've ever seen. I really don't.
She brings something special to the table. And I'll tell everybody who's listening, not only that I think she's amazing, but if you do have somebody in your life that is currently putting up with you, and you want them to stay in your life, you got to work on that stuff.
Yeah.
You got to work on it. It ain't going to take care of itself. We see too many shop owners, kids, wives, whatever, just go get tanked, man.
Yeah.
Because they do sacrifice so much for the shop. And I know that desperate feeling, like, but I've got to be there 75 hours a week to make it work. I know.
Yeah. But in the same respect, you were under the same kind of pressure that we were under as shop owners, but you didn't shirk that responsibility and say, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
You said, I will continue to do this. Hey, how do I work on this? And you've been very open and vulnerable about that, with me at least.
Yeah.
And said like, hey, here's what I'm doing to work on this. Here's how we work on this. And
Right.
here's how we communicate.
Yeah.
Right? Like, how did you make time to do that?
I listen to podcasts. I mean, if you've got people, obviously we have people listening to podcasts or we wouldn't be sitting here. Throw some like marriage podcast into the mix, friends. Right?
Yeah.
That's what I would say. Just more information. It's just the application of new information
Yeah.
in any aspect of your life. You want something to be a little bit better. You want to be a better runner. You want to be better at fixing those cars. Get some new information and then apply it.
Yeah.
You won't get it all right. Apply something.
But I mean, I think you went into that understanding that, hey, I'm not perfect in this.
Yeah.
Right. And I think in relationships, we tend to back ourselves back into this corner where we're looking at them and it's adversarial.
Sure.
Right. Like my wife and I eventually had a discussion one time years ago, and she said, I don't like, it feels like you're trying to win and I'm trying to win. Let's stop trying to win.
Right.
And let's be a family.
Yeah.
Right.
Amen.
And so I see a lot of shop owners who it's like, well, she does this and she does this and she does this or he does that. And
Yeah.
right. And it becomes an adversarial thing.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be. What are the biggest pieces of advice that you could offer to somebody in that situation?
Yeah. Humility, humble yourself, slow down. And I think you nailed it with adversary, right? Like, we need to be in this thing together if it's going to be any good. Everybody's got to be pulling the boat in the same direction. Like, we're going to pull that boat up on the shore together. You're pulling it out to the water and I'm pulling up on the land and we're going to struggle. It's humility, man. Golly, we American dudes. And I obviously there's shop owners that are females. I don't mean that to, but
Yeah, for sure.
obviously the majority, I guess, is just a bunch of dudes, and we're proud, and we think more physical force is going to fix the thing, the bigger hammer, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Just slowing down. And that's why I say, if you value that person at all, you got to see some of their perspective. You got to see what they're afraid of right now. What are they worried about? Because you may be worried about that tax bill, but they're worried about, why are you never at these events for the kids? You know, you got to find out what their fears are and their concerns are. You need feedback.
Well, and you need to understand. You need to slow down enough to hear what they're saying.
Yeah.
Right? But often we go into it and we're not listening.
We get so defensive.
Right? We're ready to tell them why they're wrong.
Yep.
Instead of listening
Yep.
to what they're saying.
Yeah. I
Dave.
think,
Are none of these people self-critical?
no.
Really?
No.
Like, how do you not know you didn't go to the kid thing?
Well, you did, but you justified it in your head that
rationalized it,
this
right?
was.
But how is that going to be okay?
What do you mean?
The kid is only going to have the kid thing once. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's a one-time thing.
Your
Like,
lip is quivering.
What's that?
Your lip is quivering.
Oh.
You're mad.
No, like,
Right.
it's so stupid. It's so stupid. Like, you can try to justify it, but especially with the kid thing. Like, they're only 5 once. They're only 6 once. You see what I'm saying? Like, so
shop
they're gonna
owners that are-
yeah, it's goofy that you got to go watch a bunch of, kindergartners and first graders sing for an hour and a half so you can see your kid for 5 minutes. I don't want to be there for an hour and a half because I don't care about those kids. Sometimes some of them are cute, but for the most part, like, I don't care. But I want to go see my kid, right?
Yeah.
And I want my kid to know that I'm there.
Yeah.
How do you justify your way out of that? Because I told Miss Smith I was going to get that traverse done. Screw Miss Smith. Screw her.
Yeah, I watched a shop owner post in the group the other day, Zach, and he was saying, "Oh, I've got this terrible flu, and I'm in the shop working, and I'm trying to like get this car done Saturday, Sunday." It's like, dude, like, what the car is?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, surely you can't. And I've talked to a lot of shop owners recently. Right, but I just got to finish this car. Why are you out of money? No, I got plenty of money, but these people.
Yeah.
Dude, seriously, you're putting that above your family?
That's my point.
You're
Is like,
putting that-
how do you not take a step back? I mean, you're absolutely right. You do need to see a person's perspective, and I think you nailed it on the head when you said, "What is it you're worried about?"
Yeah.
Because I am worried about that tax bill.
Right.
But the reason why I'm worried about that tax bill is because if I get it paid, if I get the car done, I can bring security, and you're worried about security. You're not worried. You're worried that we're not going to be able to pay the mortgage. You're worried
Right.
that the car's going to break down. You're worried that XYZ, right? So let's figure out what you're worried about, and let's align what we're working towards. But then, but still, like, yeah, you need to be at least self-critical enough. I don't know how you justify your actions, especially in the end. You could be trying to work towards that thing, but there's just certain things that you can't take back.
Yeah.
There's no taking them back.
That's so funny you say that. There is a series of videos on TikTok, and it was parents that dressed differently than they normally would, and they went to one of their kids' school events. And it was videotaping their kid, and they were watching them as they began to panic when they realized their parent wasn't there for this school function or this thing. And it's watching them the second they go from this panic, this like, oh my gosh, they're not here, they're not going to see this, whatever thought was going through their head. And then they realized they were there all along.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, it's heartbreaking to see because, like,
Right.
as business owners, there's a lot of things we've missed that we should not have missed.
No, I didn't
Right.
miss any of the things.
You did good then, Dave. You did
I'm just
good.
telling you, like, at no point, I missed some things. I'm not going to say that. I missed some things. But I recognized really early on because of the guilt.
Yeah.
It wasn't my wife like nagging me or whatever.
Right,
She left me
right.
alone. It was the guilt that I knew I missed this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't
for
miss
sure.
anymore.
Me too.
Right. Right.
And you just rearrange your day for it.
Yeah.
I
You
think
make it a priority.
if I had to phrase it, I would refer to it as entrepreneurial fear, right? That business, I'm launching this business and I'm afraid if I can't get that other car done, then I can't afford Christmas for these kids or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's a fear of I have to get that done. And then yeah, their kids are 17
Yeah.
like,
but it's
bloop.
it's
It just
an
happened.
irrational fear.
And then what?
and you never get it back. Right.
gone.
I support you 100%. I think people, an irrational fear, setting up weird expectations, but and that's, I say entrepreneurial because it's not just our shop owners. It's landscapers and house painters, and they're open a burger stand or whatever. All the people that are trying to do that on their own, people that work 9 to 5 don't relate.
Yeah.
If they're going out and playing golf in the evenings instead of going to kids' school play, then shame on them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
the people that are trying to launch a business and run a business or whatever, they defend it more as that like it's all riding on my shoulders. If I don't do this right, everything falls apart. And then they lose their marriage and their time with their kids because they weren't there.
There's a landscaper. You may know who I'm talking about. There's a guy who does like landscaping videos, and he talks about how to like grow the business and all this stuff, kind of like the shop coaches do. And so there's a guy in Charlotte that does landscaping, and he actually sold him the business in Charlotte. And so he begins to talk through, and this dude is killing himself. And he's stacking all this stuff. And it's really interesting because I've been telling my manager, one of the things I see him do when things go wrong is he tries to pull all the levers at once. And it's not like a fact-based or scenario-based thing where it's like, hey, this is what I need to do to solve this problem.
Right.
That was the biggest spot of growth for me, especially with Rick, was like learning, if I turn this knob, it makes this do this, and here's how I fix this. And I can look at the numbers, and in my head, I can see this is what's wrong with the business. Right? I just know where I need to go to fix my problem, right? And so this guy was talking about the fact, hey, listen, you have gone out and you've tried to expand and you've hired all these people and you've done all these things. Why did you do this? Well, I've got to make enough money to pay the bills, and I'm like, and all of the things were counterintuitive to his goal because he didn't slow down and think about the decision he was making. Right. And so I think sometimes when we get into these spots, we just like go pull all the levers and we're going as hard as we can, but we lack the knowledge, the information to make the situation better. And all we're doing is making it worse, but we keep doing it.
Yep. Panic.
Yeah, exactly. And so then what do? We lock.
I don't think it's any of that. I think they think that if they are there more, they put more time in, it'll fix it.
That's the bigger hammer.
They feel bad.
You're just a bigger picture of that.
More force.
They feel bad about leaving because there's so much to be done. There's so much left on the table. There's bills that are unpaid, cars that need to be fixed. Customers are calling and hounding me. I can't leave at 5. I gotta stay till 7. I gotta stay till 9.
If they had that knowledge, if they had that information, if they had that perspective, they could fix that. Right? I remember.
No, it never goes away.
I know it never goes away.
None of that goes away.
You can make it better. You can make it
No,
manageable.
it doesn't get better. It doesn't get better. It doesn't get better. He's lying. It doesn't get better.
Shop. It got better in my
Does
shop.
it?
the hell it
Training?
didn't.
Training can make it better.
What's that?
Learning how to operate your business more efficiently can make those things better.
Yeah.
The problems, they don't go away.
Of course they don't
You
go
can
away, but,
manage
like,
them
I can-
better, though.
Yeah, I can figure out how can I have enough money in my bank account to pay the bills. I can understand that it's not healthy, it's not safe for me to stay at the shop those hours.
only difference, the cars are still there. The customers are still upset. They're still calling and hounding you. The only difference is that I was able to process more vehicles and bring in more revenue, and there's money in the bank. That's it. That is the only difference. So it is
pretty much.
all of the problems, no money in the bank. All of the problems, some money in the bank. That is it. That's the only lever you're going to turn. Is I got money coming in the bank, and that's only a matter of can I process these vehicles more efficiently than I'm doing right now? Because I guarantee you, these guys that are putting 14, 16 hours a day in their shop are wasting 12 plus hours a day doing some BS that they shouldn't be doing.
Right.
Absolutely.
They're clicking around on the internet. These are always the guys that are posting on Facebook. Like, what are you doing on Facebook? Didn't you say that you have to stay till 7 o'clock that night and fix an XYZ car?
Right.
Wait, why are you on Facebook then?
Yeah.
You shouldn't be. You shouldn't be checking email. You shouldn't be. See, there's like 1,000 little things, inefficiencies throughout your day, and you feel bad about leaving. So you're staying for the full 16 hours and neglecting your kids at home.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the problems don't go away.
I'm not
You just
saying
put
they
more
do.
money. Just put more money in there. It doesn't get any. Look, it's just you still worry about. Here's what you end up through training doing.
Yeah.
You stop giving an F. That's what it is. You stop caring. At 5 o'clock, at 5:30, when I have to close my shop, which is one day a week, it's miserable. One day a week, I have to close my shop. At 5:31, all you see is taillights. At 5:31, I don't care what is going on.
Right.
I don't care.
Yeah.
And now you're like, well, I got to stay for this customer. I got a locker.
Yeah.
I got a locker.
Amen.
I can fix this. I'm never staying till past 5:30.
Right.
I got a locker. There's 1,000 little things, little nuances within the business that I can tweak
Yeah.
to keep me from staying past 5:30. And those cars still need to be fixed. The customer's still upset. I still need extra revenue. I could stay and get this extra car done, get another $1,000 in this day. But you know what? I'll just get it tomorrow.
Right.
I'm gone.
Yeah.
Gone. Because at 5:45, I want to be home. I want to be making dinner for my kids.
Yeah. Right.
I want them running around, being goofy, yell at them, quit messing with the dogs. Like, I want that whole thing.
Yeah.
That's more important to me than an extra $1,000.
Right.
That's what you end up learning.
Because you got the training to put the money in the bank, so you're not afraid of paying that tax bill now because I've got the money to.
I still don't pay the tax bill, but yeah, what you do learn is how to navigate the tax bill thing.
Right. Well, yeah, and again, that comes from applying new information. That 16-hour-a-day thing, man, that's brutal.
Just so you know, he's depending on us to make enough money to bail him out.
I know.
The tax bill
Dutch,
gets him.
Dutch
send
is
him.
going to help me out.
I'll
Dutch is
send
gonna
him
help
whatever
me
you're allowed to send prisoners.
Yeah.
What are you allowed to send him?
Honey buns.
An
There's one
encouraging
right over
card?
there.
I don't know if you can send him. There might be like a shiv.
Listen, if I get sent off to jail for tax evasion, I'm going to say that I murdered somebody. I'm just going to.
I know, right? I am not in here for a white collar crime.
It wasn't tax evasion. I know my
why
paperwork
he's
says
trying
that.
I hit him with a 2x4.
That's why he's trying to get buff, right? So he can be prepared.
Fight him off.
Yeah. It's a vacation.
Fight off. Protect my virgin beehole.
There's no protecting that. I don't think it's a goner.
That's what.
Thank you for being here.
My pleasure, fellas.